Hello there costuming nerds, welcome back. Today I've got some more tips for you when it comes to building your Stormtrooper costume, and I've got something really interesting, really important for you. For those of you that are going to be wearing this, this is an alternative to what might be considered a flimsy strapping system, original strapping system. We've got something that's nice and robust, that's going to really stand up to some wear and tear. As you will know, if you've been following this set of tutorials, we have been mainly concerned with making a replica costume, pretty much an exact replica, even replicating the strapping system like this, for instance, inside the original Stormtrooper. And I will be continuing with those tutorials, also showing you how to complete this full original strapping system as it was on the original suits. But today I've got an important alternative for you particularly if you're looking to be wearing a costume out and about and you want to be wearing it for years and years. But this system here could be considered as a little bit flimsy. Obviously it relies on these thin wire brackets, and it's also screwed into the armour at little points which are susceptible to breakage. Over time you're probably going to see some damage if you're going with the original strapping kit. So here's an alternative for you for making that a little bit more robust while still looking great on the outside. This is not just an alternative for a Stormtrooper costume. I'm pretty sure this translates to pretty much anything that is armor based, this kind of shell armor, clone costumes, the modern Stormtrooper, the sequel Stormtroopers. I'm no expert on those, but it's certainly a system that works for any type of body armor with certain sections. It's invisible, it's from the inside, and it keeps it all nicely lined up, and it's very sturdy. Here I have a full Stormtrooper torso, which, as you can see from the outside, it's got all the little details like the visible snap here on the outside, the visible screws on the chest, on the abdomen. These are all the signs that it was built in the same way as the originals. It's all the important little details that you want to be visible on the outside of the costume. But on the inside, when we open it up, that we have in fact got a whole different system of robust elastic straps and camping snaps. So what exactly are we dealing with here, and what are the major differences? Well, let's look again briefly at the original strapping system. You see it's a system of little wire brackets. These connect on both sides using these loops. So let's have a look then exactly how this works. Now, in place of the brackets, the wire brackets on both sides, we have got, as you can see here, built into the armour, a plate. In this case, the plate is made of scrap ABS. When you purchase your Stormtrooper armour kit, it will include spare material, sheets of material which hasn't been formed. This is so that you'll be able to make your cover strips. If you want to see a video on cover strips, there's one in this series of tutorials. You can look that up now. But this material, you also have plenty for creating this kind of snap plate, as I'd call it. It's a rectangular piece of plastic, spare plastic, glued into the armour in the same position as you would have your strapping brackets on the original version. But in this case we have one half of a snap or press stud, and that's going to be used. We've got another counterpart on the part opposite that matches exactly, again in the same position as it would be, as the strapping bracket would be. And you have one of these, some sturdy elastic band, 25mm in width. In this case you can use different widths. This is fine, this is a convenient width. Doubled up here, folded over with the other part of the snap through there, and this just clips in here, connects to the other side. In the case of the back and kidney plate, we have 3 snap plates on either side, 3 connection points, and as you can see, we have a really quite flexible, sturdy connection. It keeps that all nicely lined up, exactly as it would if you had the strapping brackets in the original strapping brackets, but it's a whole lot sturdier. So what exactly do we need? What materials do we need for this? Well, as I've seen already, we have these elastic straps. These are made of the heavy duty stuff. In Europe I use Prim Strong elastic band. It's a German brand, but it's available all through Europe. In the States you'll have the equivalent, no doubt. You want black 25mm elastic band. Make sure it's heavy duty, and it really is the firmer stuff. And then you of course need some kind of snap or press stud. These are heavy duty or camping type. You see there are 4 sections. You're going to need some kind of tool to apply them, to set them in your material. You can buy this tool separately, it's a little bit more convenient, but otherwise generally when you buy a pack of the snaps you get this budget version, which you can set using a hammer. Now in the army that I've shown you on this side, these plates are of course made of the ABS plastic that comes spare with your Stormtrooper kit. That's fine. It's probably the strongest bond you can make, because you weld this into your armor or glue it in with super glue, your glue of choice. In this case I've used plastic weld, and that's basically fused that to become one with the base material, so that's not going to go anywhere fast. But a word of warning and an alternative for you. This is the original chest plate from the armor that I'm showing you now with the modern strapping system. I got a little overzealous with my plastic weld when I installed these snap plates. I used a little too much plastic weld, and you have to be very, very careful on the chest plate in particular, because it's quite a thin piece. It's the way it's formed, it stretches the plastic quite a lot, and as you can see here, you can clearly see the imprint of the snap plate on the outside. Even after all these years I do make mistakes, and this for me was an absolute no-no, and I thought I can't wear that out, I'm going to have to replace this armor, which is what I did, and you will see this in the next clip. To avoid this, even though the snap plate made of plastic is probably the strongest bond you can get, you don't want to overestimate the weight, the pressure that is applied to these. And I would recommend to you, as an alternative, an easily installed alternative, you can make these snap plates out of some kind of fabric. For example, I have some webbing here, this kind of webbing belt material. This I find very good. I've got these snap plates prepared for another project. I'm going to be doing some running repairs. I'll do a video on that when I get round to it, doing some running repairs on an Empire Strikes Back Stormtrooper that I have. You can see that in another video where I dress up and get fully suited up. That's one option. And then you don't need any plastic weld. You can use your E6000 glue or some super glue just to glue that into, you'll be gluing that into the armor like so, and you then know you're not going to see anything on the other side. And I've used this in the past, some kind of sturdy material glued securely into the armor. This is very lightweight plastic. This is not going to be subjected to a lot of weight. This is definitely going to be strong enough to hold your strapping. Because if you can imagine these two plates strapped in, glued in to your armor firmly, flat, that's going to be fine. That's really, there's no way there's going to be that much pressure or load on your strapping. Also, if you still have some of your elastic band, this is the 50mm wide elastic band that is used for the shoulder strapping, the internal strapping on the shoulders. I'll show you that now. Here, this is the join between the back plate and the chest. This material, if you have some of that lying around, I find that equally as good as webbing. And this kind of material is indeed what I used in this video that I'm going to roll now, showing you how I installed those snap plates. I hope this video was interesting for you. This is definitely something that I use on costumes that I plan to wear regularly when I'm going out to events with the 501st Legion, for example. As I say, I do find it is a little bit more durable than the original system. It doesn't mean you don't have to look absolutely screen accurate on the outside. At the end of the day, it's only you really that's going to be seeing your armour from the inside. As long as you've got all the details on the outside, you're going to look the part and just going to have a little bit more security, knowing that you've got a robust strapping system. My approach is, if I'm going to be wearing the armour out regularly at events, and it's not just for display, then I'll install a robust modern strapping system like this with all the details on the outside so I look screen accurate. If it's a replica project that's mainly for display at home, then I'll go for the whole hog. I'll go the full original strapping system. I will be continuing with the full replica build so that you can see the positions of where the joins are, where the strapping brackets are. But I will give you a quick overview of the positions yet now for if you're looking to do your modern strapping. As you can see, this is the back, the inside of the back, the kidney and the butt plate. You have 3 connections between each. The original positions of the original strapping system, as you can see, it's indicated by where the positions of the screws. So in between each set of 2 screws you have one of these connections. The shoulder straps is a different matter. These are a different kind of elastic, white and 50mm wide. We'll get to that, and it's no different for the original replica build or the modern strapping build, so we'll get to that when we get to the respective tutorial. There's a crotch connection, but the same applies there. It's a different kind of connection, it's the same whatever you do. Let's look at the front parts of the armour then. This is slightly different, of course, in that there are only 2 pieces. We just have the abdomen and cod all in one, and the chest, and also you will notice that we have missed out the middle connection. I find that is unnecessarily and also gives you less flexibility. This is the armour featured, as you can see in the short clip of the video I showed you making up the snap plates. This is the 50mm elastic. These are snap plates. As you can see, that's perfectly sturdy. It's glued in there with my E6000 glue. Now you will notice here that because of the overlap, these straps have to be slightly longer and these plates are positioned higher. The plates on all the other parts where they are butt jointed, in the back for example, they're snug right up to that return edge. This, because of this overlap, we need this effect. You see, it needs to be able to move up and down more and allow the chest to overlap. Of course, on the original system there is a bracket in the middle, as you can see here. This is one tip to, if you're going with an original strapping, just as an aside, if you are going with the original strapping system, disconnecting this connection is quite a good idea to relieve some of the tension on the chest plate, because these 3 connections, when they're connected, they make for a very tense, firm connection here. And what you'll find is as you bend and look down, look up, you'll be putting all the tension on the chest plate, and it make it subject to cracking. It was also can cut into your neck here as well. What this does, I'll demonstrate on the modern strapping. If you open up the middle connection there, you see it's free floating. It gives you a lot more flexibility up and down. It doesn't necessarily detract from the look of the suit. Some of the suits in the film had that disconnected or broken, lots of running repairs, so a bit of flexibility is going to be great if you're going to be wearing this. That just leaves us then with these side connections. As you can see, we have 3 special kinds of rivets visible on the outside. I'll be doing a tutorial on that, how these come into play with the original strapping system, but the thing doing all the work here, you would, on the original strapping system, you would have 3 bits of elastic here, but in this case, just to join the 2 sides, I'm using our trusty strap and snap plate system, And of course on the other side, on the kidney plate, there is a corresponding snap plate. Bear with me. So we have that. There we go. The armour is connected on the left hand side as you wear it. The right hand side as you look at it. If you were getting into that armour, it would be, as you're looking at it now, you'd step into it. That's your back, that's your left hand side, and it will open on the right hand side so you can put it on, and we have our snap plates in there. On the right hand side we have just typically one snap connection. This is all in line with the original strapping system, so we'll come to that when we do our original strapping assembly. That's it then for this tutorial, this quick overview of what I would call a modern strapping system. I hope it was useful, I hope it was interesting. If so, please do like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next tutorial video. Take care.